One Piece, a show that most of us have been watching for the past 20 years. Luffy's journey to become the king of the pirates and find the treasure that Gol D. Roger left behind. I want to tell you why I believe Luffy dies in the end. And in his death, he's gonna become the king of the pirates and change the world forever. Welcome to the channel, fellow anime addicts. Anime maniacs, maybe? Animaniacs, that's the word. Today, I'm not gonna ask you if we should binge watch this anime. It's One Piece. It's a masterpiece of the 21st century. You should definitely watch all 800 plus episodes, and not only read, but own the entire manga series. Leave a comment below and tell me, who's your favorite One Piece character? And subscribe to the channel so I can finally come up and say, shut up Steve, being a YouTuber is a real job. So the end of One Piece. The death of Monkey D. Luffy. Does he need to die? I believe so. There are three main events in the world of One Piece. Three major deaths. Two that have already happened, and a third that's gonna start the Great War. That'll be the final arc of the show. The first major event. The death of Gol D. Roger. Roger was a great pirate, the greatest of his era. He traveled all across the land and found large indestructible stones covered in ancient writing, the lost history of the world, left behind scribbled on these stones, the poneglyphs. Eventually, he reached the final island. He found special poneglyphs along the way, colored in red, forming a map, the city of Raftel. Everyone believes that the Pirate King's treasure is hidden on Raftel. Either that, or a strong weapon, left behind by an old civilization. I don't believe so. If Gol D. Roger and his crew had such treasure, why are all former crew members living simple lives with no hint of wealth? Why is Buggy always searching for a great hidden treasure? Why is Crocus living alone in a tiny house by Reverse Mountain? Why does Silver's Rayleigh work as a simple coding mechanic in Sabaody? I do believe Roger made it to Raftel, and what he found there was knowledge, the history of the world, and the great despair that comes with knowing it. They found out about the Void Century, the missing span of time not recorded by the historians of this world. They found out about an ancient battle between good and evil, the celestial dragons, descendants of those who created the world government, the evil faction who discriminates against everyone, experiments on people and takes away their humanity, like the pacifistas, consider fishermen an inferior species, enslave and use anyone as they see fit, and the other faction, the ancient kingdom led by Joy Boy and his will to have everyone live in a free world. Roger finds the letter of apology that Joy Boy left behind. He finds out how evil won and took over the world. At this time, Roger was living in a world where people were afraid to speak out against the tyrannical government, a place where they were submissive. Roger was not sick of any disease, plagued of any illness. He was cursed with the burden of knowledge. He inherited the will of Joy Boy, the desire for every person on the planet to live free. This, in my opinion, is the will of D. Alone, in a world that hated and despised him as an outlaw, he made the ultimate sacrifice. Creation by self-destruction. Roger knew that a world divided stands no chance, no way to bring a revolution. He could not stand alone and fail as Joy Boy did. He relied on the people's greatest weakness, their greed. His final words were of his treasure. Hidden away somewhere in this world, vast riches left all in one piece. With one word, he created a revolution. With one word, he divided the resources of the government. With one word, he created a new opposing faction to the Celestial Dragons, the Pirates. Then, he allowed his death to take place and passed his will to another, to bring the world back into one piece. To fight the world government and give everyone back their freedom. That is the will of D. The second event was the death of Porcus D. Ace, brother of Luffy. The execution of Ace showed us how pirates can stand together and oppose their oppressor, how all the Whitebeard pirates were united under a single banner, fighting against the world government. All of them willing to sacrifice their lives for the sake of Ace, the one that time and time again had sacrificed himself for their sake as well. This is the moment when Luffy actually realized how weak he is. The feeling of great loss will mark his personality and push him towards a similar sacrifice in the future. The third and final event will be the death of Luffy. Luffy's dream has always been becoming the king of the pirates and finding the One Piece. Our definition of king of the pirates is very different than the one Luffy has. In chapter 507, he tells us that to him, being the king means freedom. He wants to be the most free individual of this world. In a sense, he already is. He travels wherever he wants, punches celestial dragons, helps everyone he can, and does not stand for any type of injustice regardless of personal cost. Luffy will never be the strongest in raw power. His greatest strength lies elsewhere. He can instill hope in the souls of others, even each enemy he faces. He never asks for anything, yet strong people flock to him. He pushes them away, but they form the Straw Hat fleet around him and pledge loyalty. Back in Sabaody, Usopp asked Rayleigh about the One Piece, and the former Roger Pirate was actually willing to tell them. Luffy would have none of that. No one would take away his adventure, his journey, his freedom. Even those that fight him and are defeated end up looking up to him, admire him. What will the world do when Luffy's head is on the chopping block? What will they do when the person that they look up to dies? What will all the nations he personally saved do when they hear of his death? How will the Revolutionary Army respond to the death of Monkey D. Dragon's son and Sabo's brother? The world will have to stop relying on Luffy to save it and finally make a stand, fighting in his memory. Luffy will reach Raftel. He will find out the same truth that Roger did and why he gave up his life. Luffy will sacrifice himself and do the one thing Roger could not at that time. Pass along the will of D to every pirate of this world and unite them all in one piece. As the greatest treasure of this world, starting a war for their freedom. This is how I believe Luffy's adventure will end. Please comment below and tell me what you think might happen at the end of One Piece. Thanks for watching the video. Like it if you did, dislike it if you didn't, and subscribe to the channel so I can make more content in the future.